William Morrow and HarperAudio present From Russia with Love, a James Bond novel by Ian Fleming, performed by Mark Gatiss. Author's Note. Not that it matters, but a great deal of the background to this story is accurate. SMERSH, a contraction of Smrt Spionem, death to spies, exists, and remains today the most secret department of the Soviet government. At the beginning of 1956, when this book was written, the strength of SMERSH at home and abroad was about 40,000, and General Gruber-Zaboyshikov was its chief. My description of his appearance is correct. Today the headquarters of SMERSH are where, in Chapter 4, I have placed them, at number 13, Sretenka Ulitsa, Moscow. The conference room is faithfully described, and the intelligence chiefs who meet round the table are real officials who are frequently summoned to that room for purposes similar to those I have recounted. Ian Fleming, March 1956. Part 1. The Plan. Chapter 1. Roseland. The naked man who lay splayed out on his face beside the swimming pool might have been dead. He might have been drowned and fished out of the pool and laid out on the grass to dry while the police or the next of kin was summoned. Even the little pile of objects in the grass beside his head might have been his personal effects, meticulously assembled in full view so that no one should think that something had been stolen by his rescuers. To judge by the glittering pile, this had been or was a rich man. It contained the typical membership badges of the rich man's club, a money clip made of a Mexican $50 piece and holding a substantial wad of banknotes, a well-used gold Dunhill lighter, an oval gold cigarette case with the wavy ridges and discreet turquoise button that means Fabergé, and the sort of novel a rich man pulls out of the bookcase to take into the garden, The Little Nugget, an old P.G. Wodehouse. There was also a bulky gold wristwatch on a well-used brown crocodile strap. It was a Girard-Perregaux model designed for people who like gadgets, and it had a sweep second hand and two little windows in the face to tell the day of the month and the phase of the moon. The story it now told was 2:30 on the 10th of June, with the moon 3/4 full. A blue and green dragonfly flashed out from among the rose bushes at the end of the garden, and hovered in mid-air a few inches above the base of the man's spine. It had been attracted by the golden shimmer of the June sunshine on the ridge of fine blonde hairs above the coccyx. A puff of breeze came off the sea. A tiny field of hairs bent gently. The dragonfly darted nervously sideways and hung above the man's left shoulder, looking down. The young grass below the man's open mouth stirred. A large drop of sweat rolled down the side of the fleshy nose and dropped glittering into the grass. That was enough. The dragonfly flashed away through the roses and over the jagged glass on top of the high garden wall. It might be good food, but it moved. The garden in which the man lay was about an acre of well-kept lawn surrounded on three sides by thickly banked rose bushes from which came the steady murmur of bees. Behind the drowsy noise of the bees, the sea boomed softly at the bottom of the cliff at the end of the garden. There was no view of the sea from the garden, no view of anything except the sky and the clouds above the 12-foot wall. In fact, you could only see out of the property from the two upstairs bedrooms of the villa that formed the fourth side of this very private enclosure. From them you could see a great expanse of blue water in front of you, and on either side the upper windows of neighbouring villas and the tops of the trees in their gardens, Mediterranean-type evergreen oaks, stone pines, casuarinas, and an occasional palm tree. The villa was modern, a squat, elongated box without ornament. On the garden side, the flat, pink-washed facade was pierced by 4 iron-framed windows and by a central glass door leading onto a small square of pale green glazed tiles. The tiles merged into the lawn. The other side of the villa, standing back a few yards from a dusty road, was almost identical.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?